What's up, Corrupt TV? I am out here with one of the most, I would say, legendary and famous names in the industry. You might just not see the face. I am with Ohio's own son right here. This is Robert Kurtzman. And if you guys don't know him, here, let me tell you the Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs, From Dusk Till Dawn. In the past, I'd say, going on 30 years, if you've watched anything at the movie theater, this man has either sent something there in props, been a makeup guy on set, or directed that shit. So you guys can write that down right there. You want to say hi and introduce yourself to the world?
Robert Kurtzman, and we're here in Ohio at P13 Creature Core, and we're hanging out and finishing up our conversation from the other night when we were shooting Jeffrey Nothing's new video here.
Hey, what up, Corrupt TV? This is your homeboy Corrupt. And today's episode of Corrupt TV has to go down as one of my favorite Corrupt TV episodes of all time. I had so much fun doing this one. It was like being at the Smithsonian Institute, but with cool shit. Not many times do I shut up and listen, but this has to be one of those times. The first time I ever walked into this place, it instantly became my favorite place in Ohio, maybe in the whole nation. And I don't care who you are, you gonna love this one, homie. So sit down, shut up, you about to get schooled, homie. Hey, so what up, Corrupt TV? Finally made it here. And we made an ass load of wrong turns. Thank God we didn't run out of fucking gas. You never know what you're gonna run to out here in the hills of fucking Ohio, I'll tell you that shit. I think I understand why my man Robert moved all the way out here in the country, because this is some scary ass shit. Hell yeah, man, you should see some of these farmhouses. So anyways, we're gonna go in here and check it out. Corrupt TV, follow me. Let's see how they do it out here on Lake Erie. This is one of the best interviews I've ever done. So come on, let's check it out. Corrupt TV, let's go. We caught him in action. Come on, guys. What do we got here? Look. Y'all, this is what we came all the way out here for. One of the most notorious directors in the business, right here in the cornfields of Ohio.
We are in the middle of the cornfield.
Believe me, we were driving, I was like, I know why you moved out here, man. Because if our car broke down, I wouldn't even want to go up to know their houses, man.
That's it. It keeps people away. So we get how to start.
Hey, we got the shop foreman right here.
There we have it.
So what you guys got going on here?
We're working on a burned body. That has to be shipped out on Tuesday.
Everything here at P13 is hand sculpted, hand textured, and hand painted. Every individual piece is its own piece of art. As you can see, my homie just doesn't slap his name on some shit that his employee made. Don't let the big time director stuff fool y'all. My dude actually busts his ass here at his shop to keep his brand Creature Core one of the best in the nation.
We'll build up layers and layers of this stuff, and as it kicks, we squiggle it around and make it look like burns. Flesh. That webby flesh look. See how it does that? Maybe.
Yeah. All the imagination, creativity, and time that the artist put into each piece pay off at the end, and is the difference between a basement Class B movie and a Hollywood Class A production.
Over in the body bag.
All right, come on, let's go check out the body bag, man. All right, Corrupt TV, we're gonna take a little too. Oh, here we go. I see him right now. This is the finished product. So the next time you guys see this, it will be like, so the test results have come back. And I think our victim was burned. I told you all, you ain't gonna find this anywhere else in the world but right here in Ohio, made in America at P13 Studio. So this right in here is where we just did that Jeffrey Nothing video shoot. So my dumb ass decided to leave all my camera equipment here, which is pretty cool though, because now I get to come out here and interview my brother. What's up, Corrupt TV? You can tell by the beard and the theme of my brother right here. I grew it all in for him today. I'm out here with my brother, Robert Kurtzman. He is somebody that I has inspired me, and I didn't even really know how much until I started investigating this man. And in the past, I'd say 30 years, if you've watched anything from drama, action, horror, this man has been either in the CGI or the effects or the creatures, anything you can think of that has to do with special effects. This man's probably been a part of it. So I'd like to thank you for coming to Corrupt TV today, brother.
Thanks for coming, man.
We are out here in Crestline, Ohio, and this man right here, about 30 years ago, what are you, 20 years old?
I moved out to LA when I was 19.
19?
And that was about 28, 29 years ago.
All right, so, well, let's stop right there. You are a kid in Crestline, Ohio, nothing but cowboy boots, cow shit, and cornfields.
Yeah.
What gets in your mind that says, I'm getting the hell out of here? How do you even do that? Because there's a bunch of people riding tractors right now.
At that time there was no outlet at all. I was like a pipe dream. I just shit my brain out and left.
Right.
But I was into, comic books and late night horror host shows like Big Chuck and Little John and The Ghoul and Ghoulardi, and that's how we all got into that horror kick, and then Fangoria and Famous Monsters magazine, and that's kind of how we. And then it was like the pipe dream of like, how do you do this, and where do you learn it?
Right.
So I just split to LA and
you
just
go
jump
out there
and do it.
How do you get things going? I mean, you have no money.
I started work. I went out. I took an effects course at Joe Blasco's for about 10-week course. I knew nothing other than I was an artist,
right.
But I knew nothing about doing effects, makeup effects or anything. I took that basic course, and then I started hitting the ground. I finally got hired. I was running around with my portfolio.
Right.
And I got hired at John Beekler's, working at MMI, and they were doing all these movies for Empire Pictures, like Reanimator and Ghoulies and Troll, and
right.
So that's where I started working, and that's where I met everybody that then would become my partners, my friends. It's where I met Cleve Hall at Monster Man.
Right.
He's got a show and stuff. It's like we all started out in business at the same time.
Yeah. So you're out here in the cornfields. What got you to decide to go all the way out to California, man? Because there's people riding around these on their tractors right now with inspiration and doesn't know how to get to where you've already accomplished.
Well, I didn't know where to go when I was in high school, where to go to learn how to get in the movie business or the effects business. I just did it. I went to LA, but now it's a little different. You can learn it anywhere, really. Right. But at that, I got in the business in the heyday of the '80s, where the effects business like exploded.
Right.
You had The Howling, American Werewolf, The Thing, and then our generation of effects guys came into it. So
which his generation would be Children of the Corn, Nightmare on Elm Street, Jason.
I started out
Halloween
on all the basically sequels to those movies.
Right.
So I got into business. I started interning on the originals, I was working on films like Predator and Night of the Creeps and Phantasm and Reanimator. Those were the movies that I was coming into the business with. And then when I started my own business with Howard and Greg out in LA, with KMB Effects Group, which was our company in LA, for like 15 years before I left, we did then all those movies like Nightmare on Elm Street sequels, Texas Chainsaw sequels, Halloween sequels,
right.
And the whole time then establishing relationships with directors like John Carpenter, Tobe Hooper, and George Romero, and all these different filmmakers, and Spielberg, and all, from horror directors to mainstream directors like Kevin Costner and Dances with Wolves, or,
right.
Rob Reiner and Misery. So it's like this we kind of went from these B movies all the way through the spectrum. And
So you brought up
eventually-
Dances with Wolves. What
Yeah.
what you guys probably did like the buffaloes and
Yeah.
all the.
We did all the mechanical buffaloes
Right.
and the dead buffaloes and the skin buffaloes. And,
Yeah, that's the first
so,
buffalo
yeah.
popped in my head was the skin
Yeah.
one. If you look around
and
here,
peel them off. We also did Wide Earp,
Okay.
which had the same kind of sequence in
Yeah.
it, was Kevin Costner again, and then City Slickers, where we did the birthing calf and the
Right.
calf puppets going down the river and all this stuff. So,
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah,
Man, see all that. See that. That's one.
not just horror films.
Yeah,
but
I
we did
wanted
a
to
little
bring
bit of
that up.
everything,
You
yeah.
see, when you come to Precinct 13, you look around. The first thing you think is horror films, because I mean that is his bread and butter. I mean they do the creature cores. They anytime you see in a film where they're like, "Ow, that hurt," they probably did the prosthetic for that or the special effects. They got a green screen room here. They also
which is
do.
visual effects. We do digital work and compositing and animation. We did The Devil's Rejects and Living Hell and my films like Deadly Impact and Buried Alive and The Rage.
Right.
Which was our local
That
independent
one,
movie.
right? That one,
But-
that's something that you directed,
Mhm.
and we are going to get to that in a second. But what I want to say is, you guys all we've introduced him. If you don't know him as anything else, as the horror guy or the monster guy, special effects guy, this guy, when you were in LA, you kind of were hearing on the streets about this guy and some scripts. Oh, okay.
You're talking from Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah.
I had come up with a story from Dusk Till Dawn. Which was actually based on a drive-in, which is closed down now. Gotta experience it somehow,
Corrupt, baby.